All right, Mike, first and last name, and spell it out for me, please.
Michael J. McDonald, McDonald, Chairman of the Nevada Republican Party for the state of Nevada, and Senior Advisor to President Trump.
Okay, and let's talk about election night on Tuesday. What was that like for the Republican Party here in Nevada?
It was great because for us as Republicans, we're under rebuilding. And 4 years ago, we started this process. So we started taking people, working with the Secretary of State, take people off the ballots that didn't live here, maybe passed away. So we gained on that. But also, 2 years ago, we put Joe Lombardo and Starbucks Anthony in office, and our comptroller as well. Then this was the goal. Obviously, I've been with President Trump since the very beginning, so you've seen how we changed. We had the caucus rather than the primary. We basically want to have transparency in our voting, and it was very successful for us. We had 60,000 people show up. So election night was the topping off.
For you, have you been in contact with Sam Brown? Have you been in contact with Drew Johnson so far?
I have not talked to Drew. I've talked to Sam several times yesterday. We've been walking over. Our staff has been doing the same thing, and we also have our attorneys heavily involved in it. So we're trying to watch the process as the mail starts coming in. This has been the problem we've had in the past, where we have a winner, and then all of a sudden, slowly over the next 3 days, we become the embarrassment of the United States that we can't get it. We can't learn how to count in Nevada.
But that issue, it's not that we don't know how to count, it's just the fact that we have all these mail-in ballots.
Correct.
What are your issues with the mail-in ballots?
Transparency. And obviously, look, it's been great. It's been refreshing to have our Secretary of State. We're on opposite sides of the aisle. He's Democrat and Republican. But the conversations are open. Obviously, having the governor, Joe Lombardo, there helps. And those two hopefully work together and change the system to where we have accountability for the mail-in ballots that are going out. If you want a ballot, you can ask for it, but this universal mailing ballots into the unknown universe, and hope they get to the people that are there. We don't know who's receiving these ballots, and there's that openness for fraud. And we're not saying there was fraud, but it allows to it.
Some will say by doing the universal mail-in ballots, it allows everyone an opportunity to vote. Why don't you think that is the case?
I just want accountability. If you want a ballot, you can, especially today's technology. I mean, the new generation is even stronger. You can call up, you can email, you can text, you can do all the stuff. If you want a ballot, you can get one. And you can work through either party to get a ballot.
Even though questions have been passed, largely, and it requires having an ID to go vote, or even, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's having either last 4 digits of your social or driver's license number on a ballot. Do you think that's enough accountability?
No, I think it's a good step. And great credit to Dave Gibbs and George Harris, who pushed that issue. It was great to see the turnout because we talked Republicans, Democrats, Independents, and we had in the caucus, we saw a large favorability turnout for that, to have any type of ID. We saw it cross over to Independents and Democrats. So I think it's a step in the right direction, and I think our Secretary of State and our governor, hopefully we're going to keep pushing that.
Right now, we're watching these ballots come in. Sam Brown was ahead yesterday. Now it looks like he's behind by 13,000 ballots. So what are your feelings right now? Because he was very optimistic on election night.
It's a very sad system. I mean, obviously it's like we have it happen in 2020. You go to bed, you're winning, and then you wake up the next day and you're 30,000 votes behind. So the system itself is opens for corruption. I'm not saying there was, but we have to have some type of transparency where both sides, Democrats, Republicans, and Independents, feel comfortable in the election process. Until we clean that up, we need to stop being the laughingstock of the nation.
But again, that just goes back to our universal mail-in ballots.
Correct.
For you, are you right now trying to cure ballots? Are you trying to energize volunteers to get out there, make those phone calls to let people know if their ballots need to be cured to get those votes to count?
Absolutely. We have our attorneys on it right. We started yesterday right away afterwards. We have our volunteers. We have people that worked on the Trump's campaign, President Trump's campaign, and people that have worked on senatorial campaigns. Everybody's working together right now to cure ballots.
How many ballots have you been able to cure?
That I don't have the numbers yet.
Okay. One thing when you're looking at our numbers, Nevada voted favorably for Trump. However, when we're looking at these ballots coming in, it looks like the community, people still voted blue for the congressional districts and possibly even for the Senate. Why do you think there's such a split?
Well, I can speak on behalf of what we've done for President Trump. We went into uncommon areas over the last several years and talked to union members, we talk to working class, and the message we resonate with, the programs we're putting together. This is what President Trump's going to bring, and President Trump needs a strong assembly, needs a strong Senate in the state to help us move forward, to move the agenda up so our congressional candidates and our Senate candidates would actually be able to help President Trump on that level. I would hope that went forward, but also Nevada, as small as we are, it's very personal. It goes back to the candidates. It's who they feel comfortable with.
But again, it just shows how it almost seems people are voting not by party, but by the people. Do you see that as well?
Absolutely. That's what it used to be. I mean, I was born and raised here, so we always used to vote by not just the party, but also the person. And I think that nowadays especially, and we saw this crossover with President Trump, they looked at the issues that would help. And eggs, milk, I mean, whatever we call kitchen table issues for us, not be able to afford gas. That's where they voted from. They voted from their pocketbooks. And we could say, the politicians back east could say, greatest economy ever, everything's fine. We do our own shopping. And that's been the problem, is that we do our own shopping. We're all suffering. And that's where the parties were taken off the ballot. It's about being Nevadans.
Again, I'm going to go back to these numbers
Sure.
because Drew Johnson right now, about 8,000 ballots behind Susie Lee. Sam Brown, about 13,000. Again, that was a big shift from overnight. Why don't you think Nevadans may want them in office, or what's going on? I mean, why, Trump is potentially going to, no, he is the elect. He is the president-elect, but right now it is so up in the air whether it's Drew Johnson, Susie Lee, or even Jacky, Rosen, and Sam Brown.
It goes back to the personalities, like I said before, how they campaigned. Sam did a phenomenal job. I mean, we campaigned up and down the state together. Wherever I was and our team was, his team showed up. And he was true. He was genuine. And it's very sad to see this is where it's at right now, that he may lose this election because based on these mail-in ballots. You have to go back to the people at the door, back to the people that the messaging from the campaign itself. So we'll see at the end of the day, when final ballots are counted and our attorneys and their attorneys look at it, where we end up. But it's tough.
I know you said it's unfortunate, but at the same time, others would say it shows transparency because at least it's every single vote is counted. And if every single vote is counted and it goes the way towards Jacky Rosen, some would say, well, then doesn't that show transparency because every single person was accounted for?
I have a neighbor that stopped me today that has 4 ballots at his house. He lives there by himself. Ballots. So you tell me that's not transparency? There's no transparency there. They're mailed there. If this was an unethical individual, he could fill those out and send them in, and there's no way to tell. So that's been the problem, is we need to have it that the person gets the ballot is the person that asked for the ballot, whether through ID, Social Security number, which you just mentioned, last 4 years Social Security number, but some type of accountability. Look, it's great to have a ballot mailed. My parents did it. But just mailing out to an open universe, we don't know who's receiving those, who's signing those ballots until they come in.
But they would say that's why they cure the ballots, to make sure they can verify the signature based off what's in their system.
I did a signature where it went in. It was a black mark 4 years ago. Black mark, because my name is a swish, and it was accepted. It all depends how they dial down the machines, too.
So going forward, how optimistic are you feeling about a Republican being in the House or even the Senate at this point?
I'm always optimistic. I really am. I think that, right now where we're sitting, we're going to control the Senate. We're going to control, right now, the numbers are coming in, we're going to control the House. I would love to see one of our representatives from Nevada in there as well.
But are you optimistic one of our representatives from Nevada will make it in based off how the ballots are being counted right now?
Cautiously optimistic.
So what else can you do?
Right now, it's in the attorney's hands. It's in our curing process. Our volunteers are out there working day and night. So we have a great team that has been volunteering for us for 2 years. They're making sure it happens. Our attorneys, we have over 100 that are in the valley right now. They're helping the same way. So the system's a system right now.
What are the attorneys doing? Just looking at the signatures, or can you tell me a little bit about their process and what they are busy at the moment doing?
Right now, it's led by Segal Shada and Brian Hardy, our National Committee woman, also our lead attorney from the state of Nevada. So they make sure the process is pure. I can't really speak on what they're doing because that's their attorneys. They turn them over to them. But they've been on it since the beginning of the system, since election night to see exactly what ballots are out there, how can we cure the ballots, what are we missing.
So does that mean they are at the election headquarters?
No.
Monitoring? Okay, no.
No.
So then where are they and how are they making sure everything is?
They're at the office working with the teams and the teams that are going out, and then anything that there's an issue with that the team might arise with, as far as a ballot, they're there to make sure it's correctly handled.
How many issues have they come across so far?
Don't have that number yet.
But have they come across any issues?
I believe so.
Can you get into any specifics?
Not yet. I wish I could again.
Okay. Is there anything else that you would like to add? Or I actually want to ask you, I know you said you haven't spoken with Drew Johnson.
Correct.
Do you know where maybe he's been? Because it looked like Sam Brown and Drew Johnson kind of laid low yesterday. So do you know what they've been up to or what their plan is right now going into the end of the week?
No, I know Sam's been he's been with talking to our staff. I talked to him twice yesterday. Drew, I haven't had a chance to discuss with that. That'll be contact later this afternoon, hopefully, and we'll be able to find out how we can assist with him.
What's Sam Brown telling you?
He's disappointed right now because he had a great night, and the people spoke, and he's worked very, very hard, up and down this state. And it's disappointing. You think you did everything you could, and then you start questioning, have we done everything? I can tell you he left nothing on the field. He has worked so hard, him and his wife, his family. It's disappointing at times.
Is this deja vu for you, taking you back to 2022?
2022 was good. It wasn't great. It was good. I mean, we took back the governor's mansion. We took back Lieutenant.
But
Yeah.
with Catherine Cortez Masto and Laxalt, is this a reminder of that race?
No, I think you have two different personalities. I mean, Catherine is born and raised in Las Vegas. I've known her since we grew up.
But in regards to how the ballots are coming in.
That, yes, that is deja vu. But it also was how the candidate campaigns. I've seen Catherine campaign. I saw Laxalt campaign. Two different personalities, two different approaches. So, but this right here, yeah, it's a problem.
Anything else?
No, I think we have to move forward and everything. It's good that President Trump has been reaching across. We have to find common ground to rebuild it right now, the country, and make sure that there is no person left behind. I think that's a great start.
Do you think it will be a problem if the Republicans cannot have? Do you think it will be a problem if Brown is not elected to the Senate seat, or if Drew Johnson is unable to secure the Congressional District 3 seat?
It'll be very disappointing. I don't think it'll be a hindrance, though, but it'll be very disappointing because I know Drew worked very hard, Sam worked very hard, and when you did put everything you can, you think you've done everything right, and now you're questioning how the ballots are coming in. That's always a question for a candidate. It's disappointing, but.
But some may say, why question it? Because President-elect Trump has secured the White House, but yet the other areas on the ballot are going blue.
President Trump, I'll speak on behalf of that personal. He reached across into areas we've never been before. I worked with unions. I've worked with areas people had never even voted before, independents. They came across and they were very strong with President Trump. And that goes to what he was able to project. As far as individual candidates, I think they've done the best they could, especially Sam and Drew. But it's how they projected across. You're coming across the aisle to talk to an independent, and a Democrat. You have to be able to get that message sold.
All right. Anything else?
I'm good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
By chance, can we get a 2-shot? And then.
I don't even who you tried to reach out to. I still want to give you the same number.
Oh, is that the number you gave me yesterday?
I think I gave you
Sam Brown.
Yeah.
I reached out to his campaign, didn't get a response yet. I don't have something for Drew Johnson.
I was going to turn the microphone off.
Yeah, this is just as, I'll just ask you questions just so we can look like we're talking.
Sounds good. 2012, I'm the longest serving chairman in the nation. Wow. Yeah, it's always good for a minute. We had a vacancy, the party was in disarray. So the RNC asked me to step in, I did. Thought it was going to be a short-term commitment. President Trump ran, and then Corey Lewandowski was running it, so I was a part of the original team. And been here ever since.
Plan to continue?
Yeah, we're going again. Well, President Trump winning, definitely.
Yeah. It's made in her wedding. She actually worked in the Trump administration. I know her name's Emma. I forgot her married name, but she was with